A woman is applying her makeup, and when she opens her mirror, a masked butcher suddenly appears in the reflection. But she fails to notice him and continues to put on her lipstick. By this time, the butcher has already walked right up to her. Seeing the bloody footprints all over the floor, the woman is suddenly startled.
Honey?
She calls out for her boyfriend in fear, but to her surprise, there is no response at all. She quickly closes the open door, and the fallen corpse is none other than her boyfriend. However, she still hasn't realized that the butcher behind her has already quietly closed in. She wants to use the phone to call for help, only to discover in despair that the phone line has long been cut. The butcher stabs the woman's chest several times, but after he removes his stocking mask, he is surprised to find that she hasn't been completely unalived yet. The thug watches from the side when suddenly a hand reaches over to light a cigarette for him. From his expression, it is clear that this person is his accomplice. The woman is still struggling bitterly, but then a third person appears in the frame. It turns out they are just filming a movie. At this moment, the set suddenly loses power, and the real horror is about to begin. The crew decides to head home early, but Billy realizes she forgot to grab a prop. She has no idea that her nightmare is about to start because of this. Since she is a mute, she gestures a few times to her sister before returning to the set. But when Billy is ready to leave, she finds that she has been locked inside. Even more strangely, she discovers 3 people filming an illicit, special movie in the theater. Billy intends to wait for the filming to end before asking them to open the door. But suddenly, the male actor Arkady begins to brutally beat the female actress. Accompanied by foul language that is unbearable to hear, Arkady pulls out a real knife, while the actress's face reveals an instinctive fear of death as she spots Billy hiding in the corner. The most terrifying thing happens when the blade pierces through and blood sprays everywhere. Billy's mind goes blank as fear clutches her heart like an icy hand. A loud noise rings out in the deathly silent studio like a sudden thunderclap. Billy's remaining logic tells her that she must run. A witness who cannot cry out, 2 cold-blooded monsters, and a textbook-level game of cat and mouse officially kicks off. Billy hides by relying on her familiarity with the terrain, but the director, Lyosha, has already started checking the rooms one by one. It is very clear that he is certain someone is hiding here. She sees the emergency exit sign, which is her only hope. The opportunity is fleeting, so she seizes the moment Lyosha enters a room to grab the key to the security passage. Lyosha notices bloodstains on the firebox and concludes someone witnessed the deed, so he immediately enters the adjacent room to search and sees shoes under the curtain. By this time, Billy has already escaped through another door and into the hallway outside. Another perpetrator charges up from downstairs like a predator, leaving Billy in a desperate situation where she is forced to hide behind a door on the side of the stairs. But if she stays hidden here, she will be caught very soon. The clever Billy looks toward the nearby elevator shaft, and while the two are busy talking, she holds the key in her mouth and grips the edges of the steps to enter a perfect visual blind spot. Just as her strength is failing and she struggles to adjust her posture, Billy grabs onto the cables, with her body dangling over the dark abyss, only for the life-saving key to fall to the first floor. Hope turns into total despair in an instant. Billy's exhausted body is trembling, but her will to survive is tougher than those steel cables. Just as she is finally about to reach the key, she hears the sound of a cleaver chopping meat. It turns out the 2 perpetrators are processing the aftermath, and the key is taken down to the bottom of the shaft along with them. Once they leave, Billy has no choice but to go to the pile of remains to search for the key. She is unaware that the perpetrators haven't actually gone far. Sensing something is wrong, Lyosha has the other man bring a flashlight, while Billy hides under the trash. A woman's head faintly stares back at Billy through a trash bag. a head with eyes that won't close, and a witness who cannot scream complete a grotesque stare-down in the depths of death. After the killers leave, Billy chokes back the stench and the fear, grabs that key, and crawls her way back up the cables to the first floor bit by bit. But as she cautiously hunkers down in the lobby, a fresh wave of despair hits. Every single light on the set snaps on at once. The sudden shift creates an atmosphere of absolute silence and crushing pressure. Two killers have her pinned from above and below in this brightly lit yet lifeless studio.
Aspetta! Io spiego! Io!
Billy is now a cornered animal with nowhere to run, forced to sprint for the emergency exit. The director uses heavy handheld camera work to put the audience right in the middle of the chaos, making our hearts pound right along with hers. Billy falls hard onto a pile of discarded videotapes and momentarily loses consciousness. Meanwhile, Lyosha is closing in on the unconscious Billy, right at this critical moment.
Hello? Is anybody there?
A shout pierces through the darkness.
Come here, quickly!
It's Billy's sister, Karen. Concerned for Billy, she has doubled back to find her. Her arrival causes Lyosha to instantly flip back into actor mode.
What on earth happened?
I don't know. She slipped and full bat, poor Bill.
As a member of the crew, he knows Billy is mute, so he starts spinning a yarn.
Get a doctor quickly.
You go. I'll stay here with her.
Lyosha urges Karen to rush off and call an ambulance, planning to use the opening to finish the job.
Not move. Danger she never walk again. She move. Go!
Okay.
Even though she can't hear the words, Karen reads the lethal danger from her sister's soul-crushing expression. The bond between kin can sometimes transcend language, becoming a raw, primal intuition.
Andy, go with the janitor and fetch an ambulance.
Karen doesn't leave. Instead, she chooses to call the police.
Let go of her. She's trying to say something. Murder.
However, the arrival of the authorities marks the start of the most suffocating battle of wits in the film. Lyosha and Arkady put on an Oscar-worthy performance backed by nerves of steel. They insist that everything is just a big misunderstanding, that they're just filming a movie, and that Billy was simply too deep in character and started hallucinating.
If we really want murder, why make film of it? We're not stupid, really.
Guys, English, please.
Right then, Billy notices Arkady sneakily reaching for the weapon. Billy is like an ant on a hot griddle, desperate to warn her sister, but she's a second too slow.
Murder weapon. Where?
Blood sprays everywhere in a horrific display, yet Andy remains completely unscathed. It turns out that, in order to prove his innocence, Arkady puts on this performance.
I'm fine.
Видишь?
Using only a meticulously crafted prop knife and fake blood, he successfully overrides the truth Billy tried to tell. The police are blinded by the realistic effects, preferring to believe this is all a farce rather than a gruesome murder case. Billy gestures desperately, telling the officers that the body is in the elevator shaft. But when they go down to investigate, they find nothing but a few bed sheets stained with ketchup. The two officers share a laugh, and the investigation is unceremoniously closed. Yet, they all overlooked one crucial detail: the security guard Karen called to open the door and his dog. While locking up, the guard looks toward the mysteriously lit incinerator, where a clearly recognizable human skull sits within the flames. He despairingly discovers his dog's lifeless body. It seems the truth is destined to go up in smoke tonight. Unless a miracle happens, Billy is about to have a fatal accident. Meanwhile, a mysterious federal agent named Larson suddenly pops up at the precinct. He's investigating an international crime ring led by a figure known as the Reaper. an organization that specializes in the production and sale of authentic snuff films. Everything Billy described aligns perfectly with his investigation. He knows that as the sole surviving witness, Billy is now in grave danger. Back at her apartment, Billy is physically and mentally drained, unaware that the shadow of death has followed her home like a parasite. The doorbell rings, but Billy doesn't let her guard down and cautiously hooks the security chain. It's Arkady, and he's tracked her down. He uses pliers to snap the chain, but Billy puts all her weight against the door and stomps hard on his foot. Billy temporarily fends him off, but it's followed by the terrifying whine of a power drill eating through the lock. They've brought all the tools. They are fully prepared to silence the witness. In this moment of total despair, Billy displays her incredible intellect once more. She remembers her creepy neighbor across the way, who is always watching her with binoculars. Billy decisively throws open her bathrobe, using her own body as a distress signal. But in a cruel twist of irony, the moment she actually needs to be seen, the voyeur looks away. The door is breached, and the fight of a cornered beast begins. Billy and Arkady engage in a brutal struggle within the cramped apartment. Vases, knives, everything within reach becomes a weapon. She's driven into the bathroom and locks the door, but the thin wood is no match for the monster's force. The second the door is smashed open, Billy launches a lethal counterstrike. She times it perfectly, yanking the door to let Arkady's momentum carry him into the water-filled tub. Then she drops a live hairdryer in with him. Billy has officially claimed her first retaliation. But before she can breathe, her path is blocked by the other devil, Lyosha.
Where did this get?
He holds a blade to her throat, demanding the location of another tape. Billy scribbles back in confusion. What tape? It turns out that during Billy's initial flight, she accidentally knocked over a prop that was hiding a tape full of the Reaper organization's secrets. Agent Larson arrives like a guardian angel, saving Billy just in time. He tells her that her situation is critical, and she must leave with him right now. Just as they enter the elevator, the button for the first floor is also illuminated.
They are coming. We are in great danger.
They quickly bail out mid-floor and watch as two mysterious figures head up. Larson gets Billy back to the car, but they've already been spotted by the Reaper's crew downstairs. Inside the car,
It's not over yet.
Larson brings up the tape, explaining it's vital evidence to take down the Reaper, and he needs her to tell him where it is. Just as she is about to write down the address, Russian chatter comes through Larson's walkie-talkie. Since Billy is American, she has no idea what's being said. Then she notices the car driving right past the police station without stopping.
Quick ride. You know, I work undercover. The Reaper thinks I work for him. Trust me.
His excuse is logical, but Billy's heart sinks. After a gauntlet of lies, Billy doesn't trust a soul anymore. She handcuffs Larson to the steering wheel and bails out to run for it.
Какого черта лезете, а?
But a Reaper scout is already on her, charging with a gun drawn. In the nick of time, Larson drives forward, slamming into the hitman and saving Billy once again.
Get in! Get in!
With this act, Larson seems to have proven his innocence, and Billy finally chooses to trust him. Billy leads Larson back to the movie studio.
Don't look now, but our friends are still here.
Meanwhile, the worried Karen and Andy also show up at Billy's apartment. Seeing the place trashed, they panic instantly. While Karen is trying to call the cops, Lyosha appears right behind her.
Someone's dead in the bar!
They dive into the bedroom at lightning speed, and Lyosha, fed up with this family's antics, just sits in the lobby and lights a cigarette. By now, the neighbor downstairs is fuming at the noise coming from above. Just then, two more hitmen return to the apartment. They take out Lyosha first, and then threaten Karen and Andy for the tape's location. In the heat of the moment, Karen jerks the rug out, causing one hitman's gun to misfire, unaliving his own partner on the spot. The man is completely traumatized, and there is absolutely no way they can explain away this scene.
It's not what you think.
To make matters worse, they don't speak Russian, so who on earth would believe them?
We need help!
Я сосед снизу, я...
Kill you!
policeman!
This is not even ours! We're not gonna kill you!
The guy is so spooked that he just bolts. Having narrowly escaped, Karen and Andy learn about the movie studio location from the killer's walkie-talkie and hurry there. Billy and Larson find the tape in the shadows, but the moment they have it, another killer appears. The killer doesn't attack. Instead, he tosses the tape to Larson.
You helped us a lot, Billy. Thank you.
The Reaper wants to meet the woman. He wants you to do it.
You know why we call him the Reaper? You see his face, you die.
Is Larson a police mole or a Reaper plant? This final twist causes Billy's trust to shatter instantly. Larson slowly raises his weapon and points it at Billy. He seems to have proven himself once again. Outside, the gang leader, the Reaper himself, is watching coldly with a small army. He wants to witness the last witness die. At that moment, Karen and Andy arrive. Seeing those people, they are instantly paralyzed with fear. They sneak over the wall, and when Karen sees Larson aiming at Billy, she lets out a scream.
Run, Billy, run! Run! Not out there!
After confirming it's really Billy, the Reaper gives Larson the order to do the deed. It's only when Billy sees the Reaper's face that she looks back in a moment of realization. Billy hits the ground, her back soaked in blood, and she goes completely still. Satisfied that she's gone, the Reaper and his men pull out. Karen charges forward and tackles Larson, beating him in a frenzy. But then, something miraculous happens. The dead Billy slowly opens her eyes and reveals the blood bags and props hidden under her clothes.
Genius!
Just when it seems like the dust has settled, Larson remembers a detail they missed.
Why the Reaper didn't take the diskette off me?
Shit. I'm sorry.
Big cowboy.
As he drags the captured hitman to the car, Billy realizes something is wrong. She catches the look of pure terror in the killer's eyes.
The expression. The car?
She gestures frantically, and Andy finally gets the message.
The car. Get out of the car! Get out of the car!
Larson leaps from the car the exact second it blows sky high. It turns out the Reaper never intended to leave any survivors, not even his own people. Mute Witness is a suspense masterpiece from 30 years ago. It's not just about the suffocating pace and the constant twists, it's about how director Anthony Waller used his visual mastery to create a brilliant film within a film. Truth and lies form a perfect circle here. Billy is one of the most unique scream queens in history. She can't scream, which forces her to abandon useless emotion and channel everything into cold observation, sharp logic, and decisive action. Her silence in the end becomes the most powerful testimony of all. All right, that's all for today, and I will see you in the next one.